Oh, for the days when breathy, chest-beating old people were scared of Grand Theft Auto. How quaint the mid-aughts seem now.
Nah, go fuck yourself.
What with their politicians getting in a huff about those accursed murder simulators. What all those censorious cretins missed back when was that Grand Theft Auto was born as and remains primarily a comedy series, and a deeply weird, gross-out, violent comedy at that. Of course, if they'd played these 9 spectacularly bizarre, exaggeratedly violent, and downright weird missions, that probably would have just scared them even more. Fame or shame? Grand Theft Auto 5. There's nothing quite so nerve-wracking as seeing an old friend after a long estrangement.
Somebody say yoga?
You didn't part on good terms, but the years have sort of diluted the pain, so who knows how it's gonna go. The reunion of Michael and Trevor in GTA 5 is fraught enough. This is a career criminal meeting back up with an unhinged sociopath. But rather than let their meeting breathe on its own, GTA 5 brings Michael and Trevor back together, then almost immediately sends them off to try and save Michael's daughter from being sexually exploited by a reality TV show. And this somehow ends with the hijacking of a semi-truck. That's one way to raise the drama.
You have been a bad boy.
In the air tonight, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories. Working for Veiny was an exercise in WTF from the start. What other game puts you in league with an avant-garde director who dabbled in rhino sex movies? Then, there's the mission when Veiny asks you to defend Phil Collins from deranged hitmen while he croons to an empty stadium. This is the real deal, too! Mr. Suzo Studio himself! What the hell? Eddie Lowe encounters. Grand Theft Auto 4.
Do you ever wonder if animals, they masturbate?
Give Eddie a ride. Just one. Drop off some body parts. Listening to Eddie's tales about romancing corpses. We'll wait while you ponder the presence of this absurd freak in your video game.
Just to see if he could feel anything. And you know what? He couldn't.
There are actually 2 Eddie missions, but their descent into Rob Zombie movie levels of perversity is so steep and swift that we're willing to count them as one big, what in the name of all that's normal was that moment. Black Project, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. The Truth sends CJ into Area 69 in search of a top-secret project. Of course Grand Theft Auto has a version of Area 51 that doubles as a grade schooler's attempt at a sex joke. The mission itself is a delectably cheesy sci-fi trip full of alien references and Half-Life shoutouts. Plus, it ends with CJ getting a jetpack, which is a totally normal thing for a person to have.
Personnel found stealing alien technology will not be invited on the next staff night out.
Snappy Dresser, Grand Theft Auto, Liberty City Stories. Tony has to take incriminating pictures of a chef named Giovanni
Who's
Casa
gonna be mama?
to get Ma Cipriani off of his case. Casa enjoys hiring sex workers in a public park while he wears an adult baby costume. That's not the weird part. That's the normal part. The weird part is that then you, as Tony, slice up Giovanni and have him served as deli meat. Gross.
And diaper or no diaper, he's still a better man than you.
Big and Veiny, Grand Theft Auto 3. It really does seem like Rockstar just asked a horny 8th grade boy what he thought was funny and then started designing missions from there. Here in Big and Veiny, you chase down a crazed porno thief while recovering copies of El Burro's Donkey Does Dallas as they're tossed into the street. There's sex, drugs, rock and roll provided you're tuned into that station, and just randomly picking up bestiality tapes in the street. Of course. Have a Heart, Grand Theft Auto 4. Have a Heart starts as a straightforward mission, elevated into weirdness by the sudden death of a seemingly important character and an objective that sees Nico careening through Liberty City while cracking wise about an entire trunk full of bodies in his car, and that trunk just conveniently seems rigged to pop open at every bump. The whole thing ends with a totally self-serious Nico eulogy for his fallen comrade, where he says he'd been trying to help the streets his whole life. Maybe he'll actually be doing it now. For the man who has everything, Grand Theft Auto 4: The Ballad of Gay Tony.
Come on, baby, it'll be fun.
We've stolen an assortment of items in Grand Theft Auto, but there's something extra absurd about surfing a subway train, attracting the anger of the full Liberty City Police Department, and then stealing that subway train car in the middle of transit just so it can go to a rich dude who wants it for an art installation on the other side of the world.
I fucking love you, man. I love you. See you later.
Have fun with it, you crazy fool.
Did somebody say yoga? Grand Theft Auto 5. In fairness, did somebody say yoga is only as absurd as actual life in Los Angeles? Does it seem normal to do yoga next to your spouse while they're gleefully molested by their yogi? Is it a normal response to marital infidelity to take your son out on the town, buy him drugs, then drink those drugs, and suffer from wild hallucinations where you meet aliens and then fall from the sky? No. Go to LA. It's exactly like that. If you enjoyed this feature and want more just like it, follow Games Radar at youtube.com/GamesRadar.
I always thought I was the good guy.